please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about AAA445. I've gone with Cupcake because that seems apt considering what he got entirely cancelled for all those years ago. And no, I do not believe there should be any path back for this particular idiot. A man that likes to believe himself free of consequence, partake in the noncing and have a path back. Essentially, have his cupcake, the 13-year-old cupcake, eat it and then have some more. Over the years he's been eking out his existence on places like TikTok and actually gaining quite a large follower base. He has on multiple times tried to come back to YouTube. Each time he's been yeeted because he got reported. It got so bad, YouTube themselves started intervening when it came to anyone covering AtaraxiA445, demonetizing their videos or removing them entirely for community violations, none of which is remotely accurate. We are keeping someone in line, holding them to the mark, because they have repeatedly violated terms of service and they were caught trying to meet a 13-year-old for a cupcake. I'm going to call it a cupcake when we know entirely what it was. The bust, as everyone knows, was also a complete bust. And for the most part, EDP has managed to, through attrition, much like Shani for Christ, persist, endure, and continue as if he is on the right side of history. He's not in this one. And we're going to take a look at his content, because he has a YouTube channel that has a reasonable follower base. Considering what he's done, I'm somewhat impressed he's managed to get the 15,000 subs he has at time of recording. But then, when I look at his TikTok, I'm well aware that when he was on there and he was talking about football, people were following him for the football commentary. As is well known, he is a massive NFL fan, more notably, the Seattle Sonics. For this video, we're going to call him Cupcake, because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube. We all know who he really is, and I'll link my videos I've done on this idiot down below. We do need to go back slightly. I collect sources over a period of time with the help of another person who I'm going to link their channel down below. They're trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. Earlier in the year, Cupcake got busted by another creator called Gideon. Why? Well, Cupcake was trying to meet up with a 15-year-old minor Cupcake, and Cupcake put out a response. That response was posted to Twitter by Drama Alert. You'll see a watermark in the corner, and I'm going to do my best here to remove every profanity. But Cupcake is a prolific cusser. This is going to be difficult.
Got motherfuckers out here that are doing anything for views. I'm gonna cut straight to the chase, man. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Gideon, right? Now, this guy is the definition of a, you know what I mean? He's the definition of everything I did not want to be when it came to growing my YouTube channel back in the day. I never was the type of to go out and purposely people in public, you know what I mean? Just to get a rise about a mother, just to, you know, get a reaction out of people, you know what I mean? This decided to fly across country, try to catch me in the act on some mother, tracked me down, stalked me, camped outside of my mother dialysis center. The fact that you flew cross country, you feel me, to with somebody.
I have often said, I do not support nor condone IRL harassment of any kind. You are the exception to it. You will always be the exception to it because you still believe you did nothing wrong. Because you have not atoned. Because you have not done anything to rectify your thirst for younger cupcakes, Mr. Cupcake. After this, a picture started doing its rounds. A picture concerning Boogie2988 and AtaraxiA445. The picture has them doing what looks like an interview, or a mukbang, with a substantial amount of food on the table. My first thought was, well, you two wouldn't be out of place in Nurgle's garden as plague bearers. An advert for various organ failures. And I'll throw enough shade at Boogie because I want to. He faked cancer, and the other one tried to meet up with a 13-year-old cupcake. And I know someone's going to make the false equivalence about Boogie dating somebody who's quite young as well. At least that person's legal. Let's go with that. Boogie was called out all over social media for this and did explain it was an interview for a documentary. This in fact became a focal point of an episode of LolCal Live titled Boogie2988 collab with EatThatCupcake445 bracket Shaman attacks Boogie's house, close brackets, arrested, and Boogie passes on air. There's a little bit of bait in it, and the title, when you remove the brackets and the comment in between it, makes no sense. So the brackets seem redundant, but alright. Now, the majority of that episode wasn't so much talking about the EDP445 documentary stuff, although Mike Clum was mentioned a fair bit. It instead served as an opportunity to drag Boogie because he's a gullible fool who'll never put any effort into anything. Maybe he should take lessons from Eat That Cupcake, because man's still trying, he's still grinding, thankfully not against anything under the legal age of consent for cupcakes. In a somewhat covert manner, Eat That Cupcake made a return to YouTube as Big Cheese. His handle, the OG445. Description, I'm back in the betch. It's the return of the ED Cupcake 445. Still rep the birds and more I will not say on video. Yes, he's still a fan of the Eagles, but will, for the sake of it, completely confuse his fandom of Philadelphia Eagles with that of another NFL team called the Vancouver Canucks. He also has an Instagram, where I noticed one of the more recent posts, someone leaving a comment under his video, people still talking about this when he was never arrested, charged or anything, but yet y'all weird, still have his name in your mouthpieces, give it a break, post some content people actually want to watch, and get off this old news, non-factual BS y'all keep posting. You must be one uninteresting person if you've got to stoop as low as hating on another content creator. It's not hating, he has a taste, he has been made, he has been found wanting, and he is now everyone's piñata. He's also breaching terms of service of YouTube by creating another account. It is called ban evasion. Therefore, it is not hating, it is holding him to the standards we all must abide. He forfeited that right when he breached terms of service. He forfeited that right when he tried to get his hands on a 13-year-old cupcake. It may be old and he may not have been arrested because of how badly this was handled. It does not change what he was found doing. But thank you for white knighting for him. I'm sure he really appreciates it. He's also active on Twitter again as Pastrami Fries. That's his handle, where he mostly posts about his favourite NFL team, the Wasps. Now his channel has since been updated to Eat That Cupcake445. The channel name undoubtedly changed so he could pass unnoticed for a period of time before getting back on with the task of growing another YouTube channel. His viewership since making this triumphant return has continually diminished as time has progressed over the 3 weeks he has been active as a creator. This is not necessarily about the law of diminishing returns. This is more people being less interested with this fool being about. The first video he put out is titled Here We Go.
Alright y'all, so this is my 9 millionth attempt at trying to create a motherfucking YouTube channel.
You know, he may not be exaggerating, because for a time, after being yeeted, he kept on creating accounts and people made a concerted effort to report every single one of them. So he stopped and focused on Facebook, got yeeted from there, focused on his website where he sold all his possessions, play buttons included, to try and get by. He grew his TikTok as an attempt to try and stay relevant, and for a time he was doing really well over there. But he kept getting yeeted, and I'm smiling while I say this, because he violated TOS on YouTube, so him continually making accounts is still ban evasion.
We'll see how long this it lasts. Probably won't last long at all, to be honest with you. You know, and I've noticed that with YouTube, they don't have a problem with you creating a YouTube channel. That's more than perfectly fine. I mean, hey, the more movies you buy, the more, you know, accounts that you make, the more channels that you have, the more money that they get. But it's as soon as you start making videos, then that's when they want to terminate and yank your down. So
in a generalized context, he has a point with how YouTube has often treated creators over the years. But we're talking about those creators that don't make it a point to ban evade or break the rules over and over again. You might well think that the Matrix is holding you down, the man is holding you down, the platform is, but you're the one that keeps coming back. because you need YouTube. You need this social media platform. It speaks volumes about what you have in your life that you continue to persist in being here. And it's been 3 weeks, so clearly no one's cared enough to report you enough just yet. They might wait till you're at 99.9k and then do it to make sure you don't get another play button.
We'll see how long this mother lasts. I'm not going to, start coming up with like beautiful topics and talk about, you know what I mean, just to have my get yanked the down. So
when I think of the content you used to make, quite passionate commentary concerning the Philadelphia Eagles, the regard you were held in back then especially, I would never argue or ever consider it to be beautiful content, but it was certainly passionate from one man who cared about what he did. And right now, your content is, well, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of all over the place, some related to football, some relating to Donald Trump, some related to dialysis, insults to fast food outlets, yes, only Fupa Fibro failed adult film actor content. But you've been able to make your content that you usually made back then. I stand by not thinking it could ever be regarded as beautiful.
I guess you can consider this a little test video to see what they'll decide to do. And who knows, if this doesn't get yanked down, probably the next video will, or the third one, or the fourth one, or the fifth one, or the sixth one, or the seventh one, or the eighth one. Who knows at this goddamn point? So, yeah, we'll see.
At time of recording, EatDatCupcake has made 13 videos on his channel. One of those videos was noticed by Keemstar, the Vote Donald Trump 2024 video. Keemstar tweeted or retweeted Drama Alert by saying, "Cupcake must not know that Trump wants to give PDFs the unalive penalty." Reply underneath, "Good job he isn't one then." Rate proposed community notes, he was caught trying to be a 13-year-old in a sting operation. I'm going to rate that as good because context, direct, yeah, I'll leave it like that. Marvellous. Now, in a more recent video titled Mistakes Were Made, Cupcake addresses some of the conversation surrounding what happened all those years ago. Early on in this video, he says a bit of a cliche. If you can guess what it is before I play it, put it in the comments down below. He also uses it as a reason to attack the criticism under the pigeonholed label of trolls. The haters, as they're usually called, along with all the other cuss words that he regurgitates every other third word. It's his go-to. There are a number of criticisms I have with the video, certainly with what he presents as his version of events or why he did what he did, the cliche why he did what he did anyway, but also the fact he's framed the video so poorly. He could angle this video slightly further down, but apparently no, he has to inhabit the lower third of the video frame. Usually when you do a video there are 9 cells. Think tic-tac-toe noughts and crosses. You want to occupy all 9 of them so there's no dead space. In his, there are 6 cells of dead space. At best, it should be 6 cells in use, 3 are useless. At best for him, I know. If he's in all 9, of course, the camera's too close.
There's no reconciling with these motherfuckers. There's no getting through to them. There's no, trying to get these people to understand where you were at that point in time in your life. Addressing what happened a few years ago, the whole incident and stuff like that. I'll be the first person to tell you, I was in a very dark place in my life. Very dark place.
As is often the case with people that make excuses, I was in a very dark place is a cliche go-to for literally every single nonce I've ever seen stung. It's an obfuscation. It is as simple as that. A deflection. It is trite. It's yawn-inducing. You should just admit you have a taste, because you've been caught out multiple times over the years doing this. You were caught out when you added commentary to a video and then found out the woman was not a woman but a younger lady who was just well endowed for her age. You didn't denounce that because you have a type.
Had the fame, had the money, had the status, I thought that I couldn't be touched. And paid the price for it,
I would love for you then to explain how you define being in a dark place. Truly, how do you define that? Others, when they're in a dark place, eat, drink, do narcotics like sherbet. You, though, cupcakes. Under the legal limit, cupcakes. there is no justification for what you tried to do. I'm impressed you're willing to keep trying to get back onto YouTube to make a living, although I'm not entirely sure if you're monetized yet, Mr. Big Cheese or Cupcake or whatever your current name is.
Now, one thing I want you guys to understand, another thing I want you guys to understand, and of course, there's going to be those motherfuckers out there, oh, EDP, just because you were in a dark place, that doesn't justify what you did. First off, don't try to put words up in my mouth. We're not here for that. I'm here to explain to you where I was at in my headspace a few years ago.
I hadn't even watched your video ahead of time. I didn't know that was coming. I should point out, by me stating the lack of justification, because there is none, I am not putting words into your mouth. You are trying to deflect by making it about that dark place. It's a deflection, Cupcake. That is what it is. I'm pointing out that there's no version of this where you explain yourself and I can say, oh well, that makes sense then. I now can totally understand why you'd want to get your hands on a 13-year-old Cupcake.
The only thing that you can do as a human being when you make a mistake to this magnitude is to take responsibility for your actions, take accountability for your actions, understand that there is an issue, right? Understand that this is not normal. You know what I mean? To have these type of behaviors, they are not normal, right? Get the necessary help, and overall, just trying to make sure that the same mistake doesn't happen again.
Now that's an interesting point, because YouTube had a way of ensuring it by not allowing you to build up that fan base and wealth on the platform that you'd end up back in that dark place. By banning you. You ban evading, run the risk of doing it again. Also, you seem to believe yourself the arbiter of when you have rehabilitated and atoned, taken responsibility, so you should then just be allowed to come back. But YouTube's terms of service say, no, you can't ever come back. But as we've already discovered with Shani, it is possible for a creator just to win via attrition. Via attrition. You are not the arbiter of when you have finished paying for what is often dubbed a sin. Certainly within the court of public opinion, that will never stop. It's not surprising you turn your comments off. It's not surprising you turn your like to dislike off. It's not surprising. It is hardly a shock that you would not want to see any dissenting perspectives in your comments or in your community. It's also somewhat unsurprising that for a video like this, you would try and limit how much profanity you present, because you want this one to be the one that explains just how much you've grown since then. And no, I'm not going to go through any more of it. You've suffered enough for one video. He has 13 videos on his channel at time of recording, and his channel is growing. How far he could possibly go, I'm uncertain, but I doubt he'll ever achieve the level of success he once had when he was known by a different name. Going forward though, he is still to me, much like Cancer2988, this guy's AtaraxiA, the world's biggest fan of the biggest NFL team on the planet, Juventus.